Yo, yo, yo. Austin and Britt here from Casually Growing. Back at you with the part 3 on the birth story video. Coming at you live with some questions from our fans. All right. Brittany, why don't you give yourself a nice little intro right now? Come on. Tell the fans. 2 facts and a lie. Ready? Go. Fact snaps.
2 facts and a lie.
2 facts and a lie.
Man, even on the spot, I can't even think.
Me either. Yeah, I got some for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Pro bodybuilder.
No, go ahead.
Has a master's degree. Sells feet pics. Which one's the lie?
Yo, we broke. It ain't the
Run it back, babe.
Wait.
Try number 2. Do one for me. 2 facts and a lie. Doesn't have to be in order.
Okay, mechanically inclined, played the flute, and only wears cowboy boots.
Those are all questionable.
Did you play the flute?
Yeah, at one point.
No, you didn't. Did you really?
Man, you could ask my mom. I bet your ass I had a nice little flute in like elementary school.
Okay, that literally doesn't count.
Shit.
There's a difference between a flute and a recorder.
No. Oh, the flute. No, I haven't played the flute.
Oh. Okay, well we need Christina here, my best friend. She made her own game up, and it was actually
My brain
insane.
cannot keep up with her game.
No, I don't even know how to sum it up, but basically she's really good at taking a movie title and breaking down the movie into a riddle, and majority of people can't figure out the riddle.
It is.
To figure out the movie.
It's a genuine talent.
And she does it on spot. It's actually insane.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And the drunker she is, the better
she
is at it.
What? Yeah.
Okay, let's get
It's
back
called fact snaps.
Let's get back at
Shout out. Briar's godmother. She's got a brain on her.
She does. So we're just going to do a little question.
We had so many questions. Thank you all for participating, by the way, and truly caring about our lives. Don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. If you're really liking what you feeling, seeing, touching, whatever, listening to, right? Hit that little bell notification up top. Ding, 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 ding.
I'm going to add that part in for sure.
100p.
So let's start out with, it's honestly just fairly basic questions, so this is going to be a quick one. So the first question is kind of what was my
There's
process?
one question. No, there's more than one.
What was how did I prepare and how did I achieve my ideal birth?
Mm-hmm.
And I brought...
That's 110% you question.
I know, just
I'll add to it,
I'll
though.
sum this up super quick, but this was literally the book that I basically lived by. It was written by a midwife, MariMikel, who practices in Texas. And if you're looking for a guideline or you don't know where to start, this book is awesome. She basically holds your hand throughout your entire pregnancy, and she explains everything in depth, from recipes to exercise suggestions to supplements, everything. I kind of lived and breathed this book.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And as we mentioned, his cousins were the one who told us about this because they actually used MariMikel.
Yeah, fun fact.
So
they used the godmother of midwifery.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would highly recommend, I'll add this book below. Mm-hmm. But if you're just looking you don't know where to start or you're feeling kind of stuck, I would just give this a little bit of a go. It's not only what you can do for your body internally or externally, it's also what you can do for your mind and help you prepare. And I think we genuinely achieved our ideal birth a lot because of this book. Of course, our birth team was phenomenal, but this book definitely led the way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, other things we did, obviously the birthing class, our support team, our birthing team.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
we did. Why am I drawing blank in the
Well, one
name of the
thing-
stretches?
Yeah, the perineum.
We did
So
hella perineum
I think
stretches.
the way that we definitely achieved like the no tearing. Austin was doing the perineum stretches, and we were doing them with primrose oil. So we literally like bought the capsules, and we would just poke a hole in the capsules, and then we'd use the oil. MariMikel mentioned swimming, so I swam a couple times a week.
Oh, swimmy.
Yeah, I never swam before in my entire life, like lap swimming, I should say.
No, but
So
The
that was my
first
first
couple-
time lap swimming.
she wanted me to go with her like the first time, and she was so nervous.
But everybody was so inviting and so welcoming. But I was definitely super
Yeah.
nervous.
But by the time of it, right? I mean, they literally mistook her for like Michael Phelps. Like she was swimming so fast, she was just gliding on her pregnant belly at that point. It was incredible. Olympic athlete. Nicozio.
Right. Well, they say that you shouldn't start anything new when you're pregnant, but I mean, just listen to your body. And I was already active prior, so I think that also helped. But having the swimming can help flip your baby in the proper position. So that's why swimming. So I think swimming helped a ton too. But yeah, little things like that. But I just highly recommend that book. All of our appointments together.
Yep. Well, I went to as many as I could, and I did go to the majority of them. Super thankful for that.
Dude, what did you do? Like without me?
I just followed her lead. She's absolutely incredible. She said, do this. I said, okay. That's what I did. Right? If she would have said jump, I would have said, okay, how high?
Is there any way like you like mentally prepared yourself for the birth?
Mentally prepared myself for the birth? No, I was mentally out of it. So I was going through war in my own way. And if you don't remember, I was going through war because I had a sinus infection. Come to find out, I was fighting for like over 6 months. That day they put me on, I was on like my 3rd round of antibiotics. And then that day they put me on a steroid. And it was one of those where it goes like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the worst day was literally that day. And I, like, no joke, I took the last 2 pills prior to going to the birthing center. So I was...
You were also up for a long time too. So he wasn't even
my-
like
like,
taking
my-
it with food.
Yeah, my blood pressure was through the freaking roof, had a nasty headache, so...
But you
Not-
genuinely couldn't tell.
Yeah, and TMI, but I was literally running to the bathroom like any chance I could. The second I knew she was good, I'm like, out of there. A little bit pun intended on the, it's like not fun.
But he was amazing
So-
anyways.
Mentally preparing, just being the best version of myself that I could be during the birth.
I definitely was the more research type, so I think Austin just being open to the conversation and the research that I was reading and just taking it all in was phenomenal help.
I mean, there's ton of instances where she would want me to read a chapter or two or what have you, or a couple paragraphs here and there, and obviously I would take the time to do that because it's important.
Would you say like everything that we did genuinely helped you prepare for our birth? Like, did you
Oh,
feel like you
100%.
had any surprises or anything? Or
No,
is there any
not
way
really.
like you would prepare for a second birth differently?
I would just run it back and do it all over again.
Yeah.
Like, what you don't use, you lose. Right? So, believe it or not, it was already 8 months ago, almost.
I know.
So, well, and longer, once we started birthing class and everything. But, yeah, no, just going through and taking the time to do it all over again and refresh. You're still taking a lot of the supplements.
Yeah, I still.
I feel like this is a very long-winded answer.
It really is, and I can always cut pieces here and there. But the supplements that I was taking, because MariMikel believed that there were multiple, vitamins and minerals that you should be taking in. Not all of that can fit into one pill. And since I'm, since I'm still breastfeeding, I've just been continuing the supplement. And like we want to have more kids, so I genuinely don't see myself stopping the supplement regimen anytime soon. The blood work comes back and everything looks good. So
Yeah.
We're
I mean,
riding.
our baby is ahead of the game with everything.
yeah.
So is she.
So I think we're doing well.
Health as well.
All right. Why not a home birth?
Why not a home birth? For the last one, really simple. You know, she had an ectopic pregnancy. It was our first birth. Burr Ridge has such a close relationship with Hinsdale Hospital that just in case anything happened, literally a 5-minute ride, I think it really is a perfect gap between not having our typical United States BS medical intervention birth and having the way, in my opinion, that it should be. But just in case there is anything that does happen, there are medical professionals that are ready to act and do the correct thing. And quite frankly, I know she feels different, but that's personally how I would want the second one to be as well. But she definitely wants a home birth.
Yeah, for baby number 2, I think I would like. I feel our first experience was just so beautiful, and I genuinely think Briar would have came sooner in comparison to like having to take the car ride to the birthing center. And I think another reason that we chose the birthing center is because we kind of like went against the grain. Like it wasn't the norm on either sides of our families. So it's like you also have the fears and the concerns and the opinions of other family members as well. So, you know, it genuinely feels like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So we just decided, you know, what we ultimately felt comfortable with and just wanted that decision. And super happy we did. Also, we live in a condo. So I'm not entirely sure.
We live in a 1-bedroom condo with 3 cats.
And a dog. So I genuinely don't
Too much hair and crap.
Yeah, know how that would have went. Or what even birth looked like.
But also, like...
But next birth,
during her transition, we can't be having her screaming over here with our freaking neighbors. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, having more space, a home birth for sure. If we can find a midwife that we both feel comfortable with, because I feel like that's also important. I wouldn't just choose any midwife that does home births. I would want to find somebody who I felt was an asset to our team. Mm-hmm. And that could help us achieve our ideal birth. So.
Yeah, but we would also have to have a really solid plan.
Did the birth center require any vaccines?
No.
Mm-mm. The birth center did not require any vaccines.
They
wanted
laid everything out on the table, and then they gave a long recommendation, or not like a long recommendation, but like an explanation of the potential side effects and why some people do it this way and blah, 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 versus your typical...
Austin feels very strongly about it.
That's what it is. It's the truth.
Yeah, there was no pressure. It was just, hey, are you interested in this? And then you say yes or no, and there was no judgment. You just moved on. Mm-hmm.
Which is great.
What vaccines did we give Briar after birth?
My son has not been poked by any dumb Western medicine doctor.
You can say they're dumb, though, because they could actually, like, if something happened, we would need modern medicine.
Well, sure. But there's a difference between modern medicine and unnecessary vaccination.
Yeah. So, we did not
there's a lot of great things from Western medicine, but then there's also a lot of bullshit from Western medicine. Yeah. I work in the medical field. I see it. Every day.
So we did, so we did not vaccinate Briar. Instead of doing the vitamin K shot, we did vitamin K drops. Mm-hmm. But we're not here to give, our opinion or our explanation as to why we chose. We are just huge advocates to, do your own research and do what you feel comfortable with. Mm-hmm. And the more research that I did, the less comfortable I felt with it. Vaccines is something that would literally make you lose sleep over. So somebody told me when I was going back and forth, when we were going back and forth on what to do, don't do anything you don't feel comfortable with because you can't take anything back. So we have yet to feel confident, but, we're always open-minded, always willing to change, always willing to take in new research. But as of right now, Briar did not receive any vaccines.
It's a hard no.
Will not receive any vaccines, and then moving forward, our other babies won't either.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and if you're open-minded and if you want to have a conversation, we are always willing to chat about it. We're an open table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I don't feel confident with it yet.
Yep.
Sound cool?
Cool with me, honey bunny. I'm cool.
I will say the one nice thing is having a partner who's on your team or like on your side, especially when it comes to like the heavy hitting questions, because you have, two people that you can,
Mm-hmm.
two people on the front line instead of, feeling like you're defending yourself. So I would genuinely say just do your research.
Do your research.
Do what you feel.
Do a lot of research.
And do what you feel good with.
Do a lot of research.
And
What book do you recommend for... I know that there's a few, but which one do you recommend for doing some research on vaccines?
I can't. Well, right now I'm reading Turtles All the Way Down.
We'll put links in the description.
Yeah. Well, I haven't finished it yet, so I don't want to like fully recommend it. But
Yeah, but you've been reading that one for a long time.
it's because there's so much information. Like there's so much information to the point where like you can only read a certain amount of pages, and then you kind of have to take in what you read, and then sometimes even reread. That's how much information. It's like a very factual.
She recommends it, for sure.
It's a very factual book. There's no opinions. Like two doctors from Turkey wrote it, but they're under an innuendo because they don't want to be criticized in their country. So they have ghostwriters or I think it's called ghostwriters, but they had others that published the book forward for them. And nobody has been able to dispute any of the claims in the book.
Not a single
Which is
claim
insane.
in the book.
There's actually like a Turtles challenge where somebody's willing to pay a couple $1,000 towards a charity of your choice if anyone could dispute the claims. So it's just research. Like I said, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So at least feel confident in your decision.
Yeah.
I would say.
She's definitely the brains and kind of leads the way with a lot of the research. It's definitely one of her passions, but she'll, when it comes to any decision, like we have a long conversation on why, and then I'll obviously be forced to do a little bit of my own due diligence.
Yeah.
But out of all the books that you've read, like that one in particular, you've like, oh, so you have to come read this. Like you have to come see this.
Yeah.
And you've just been like picking apart all of it. It is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good one. Yeah, there's a couple books. But, and last question, baby number 2.
Well, of course. What about him?
If it was up to me, I would definitely already have a baby number 2.
Why are you not pregnant?
Because I'm still breastfeeding and I haven't had my period yet. So you're kind of like in this weird limbo where it's like you want to have another baby and have them close in age. But right now we just want to make
Still
sure.
getting close in age. He's 8 months old.
I know.
Like, think about it. He's
But
8
you have
months
to
old.
think like you're pregnant for 9 months.
Yeah.
So,
What do you want? 2 under 2?
I mean, if it was up to me, like I said, I would already be pregnant. But with not having a period, we are just kind of going with the flow. We're going to make sure Briar's taken care of, and then it's in God's hands.
That's right. It is indeed in God's hands.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll leave it there. Just a little quick Q&A.
I'm going to go to the grocery store. And she's going to think of 2 facts and a lie for the next video that's going to be better than the ones that she provided.
All right. Thank you for watching.
Toodles.